Hello, everyone. I think we're going to be much smaller this time around. Getting close to holidays and all the fun stuff. Maybe we'll give a couple more minutes for a few more people to trickle in.
Right. And I think I'll maybe just paste in my things so people could
Sure.
maybe take that time to try and do. So this will be for when we do introductions and stuff and the icebreaker thing, and just pasting this into chat. Just what will be, your name, where you're at. I'll go over that. But the extra credit part, so you might want to bring up ChatGPT if you have that, and Gemini if you have that. Don't worry if you don't; those parts are extra credit. You'll be ahead of the game. But we're just trying to do something a little bit fun, and yeah.
Good idea.
When we get to the introductions, and then I'll mention this again. But I'm going to be trying to turn this the intros into a song or a video or something fun like that without mentioning names, and just use the superpowers and the group. And I had it do 10 superpowers just so you could pick the one that you want if there is one. Yeah, and the image was the one that I inspired based on the superpower I picked.
Wow, I like what Copilot is saying my superpower is.
All right, nice. All 10 of them?
Now I'm asking, it's coming up with the image.
Okay. Yeah, and Nana Banana Pro is upgraded, so you might want to try both if you have a Gemini. Now, we all should have access to Gemini for free with the agreement that was made with the colleges. If anyone's not aware of that,
Did not.
yeah, maybe check with IT to see how you get access to that.
All right. I think we're probably good to go ahead and get started. Eric, do you want to officially convene us, or should I jump right in?
I officially convene. And, Wintry, you take it from here.
Good deal. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us on this lovely Friday afternoon. We're excited to have our second user group, probably a smaller group since we're getting close to holidays and all of that. But we do really appreciate you coming and participating and sharing with everyone. Just a quick overview. We'll go over the purpose of the group, have some time for some updates about precision, specifically some most valuable player kind of features. And we will have an introductory connector kind of activity led by Tim from Mendocino. And David is going to give us a feature presentation looking at the student-centered funding formula metrics that they have in Precision. And we'll have an open floor, time to talk about maybe the presentation or any other questions that you have related to data and using Precision Campus. And we will end with our random drawing of someone to get a DoorDash gift card as a thank you for attending. So as we kind of build out this user group. We're really hoping that it will be a space to connect and share ideas, and really come together in the service of supporting institutional effectiveness and student success. And that would include looking at features in Precision Campus, getting your feedback about things that we could improve, add to enhance it, as well as helping establish connections amongst you to better further the work that you're doing. So this is kind of the purpose that we have in mind, and we're planning to meet quarterly. And we'll talk a little bit about the next meeting when we get towards the end, because that one might be a little bit different. Okay, I think basic ground rules, I think we're good with that. Be respectful, contribute respectfully. That's appreciated. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Eric at this point to give us the updates and most valuable player features in Precision Campus.
Yeah, Wintry, if I forget to show something, you gotta let me know. Anyway, I'm gonna show some of the things many of you have already or are aware of, but I just wanted to, some of you are not, and maybe some of you haven't seen all of the capabilities of this particular area, which I will call, I don't know, drill down, record level access, student level access. So, and going beyond maybe what you know on the surface. So you should already know that if you click on, I'm right now, I think I'm in Accounting 100. If I click on the table cell and I have access, it will open up the list of student IDs. This list, obviously you can download this to your computer. You can save that as a cohort, which is pretty convenient. But I also want to know, some colleges have asked for, they want to have a list of students with their email addresses and their names because they want to use that. They're going to use that for advising or reaching out to that set of students. So we can totally do that. Now, it depends on the data that you guys have uploaded. If student email is not in that list, then we can't obviously display it. But it does become a vehicle for producing those types of lists, those types of transaction lists that people want to see a list of students and they want to then use that, use their email addresses for some sort of connection. So just to make sure, when you do this stuff's pretty cool, I think. It's a kind of a great shortcut. If you said, let's say this was my, these are my accounting students, right? And these are low income accounting students. It's pretty convenient because it puts it right into one of my cohorts over here that then you can, do all the things you can do with any of your cohorts that you've uploaded. Let me go back to that report. I'll show you a couple other things we can do with those details. All right, so here are my students. I think we've tried to show all of you, but maybe we have not shown all of you yet the student spotlight capability. So in Wintry, I don't know if the admin or the demo has the name search clicked on it yet. But
I guess I haven't done that for the demo yet.
all right.
Okay.
Anyway, this is pretty, the thing is right now it shows like overall demographics for that student, which by the way, each of these fields you can customize. So we can have whatever you want in there. All of these can be customized for whatever you want. Kind of a term summary, course history. This one includes grades, but it's not necessary. If you got any degrees, those are down there. These notes are kind of cool. So I reminded her to take calculus. You can add notes, and then the person coming, you or someone else will see those notes, and it can become a nice place to keep track of any interactions you might have had with the students.
Eric, if you refresh, it should have name search now.
All right, let me try again. Show you one cool, okay, good. So let's say also, you're like, I don't know their student ID, but I'm pretty sure they were like Smith or something. So we're still working the glitches on this one. But hypothetically, you could type in Smith and it would give you like a little quick list, pick list of the top 10 matches for Smith, and then click on that name and they'd show up. And that can be pretty useful if you don't know their student ID. One last thing I want to show you about record level data, which is also equally cool. All right, right now I'm looking at, again, accounting 100, low income. And often you're like, I just want to see, without clicking on the table cell, just give me the list of students. So this is kind of cool. I don't know how many are aware of this, but if you click on list, it just goes and gets a list. Now, again, the student ID, that's what is in there by default, but we could include student name, email address, whatever you want. All right, that's fine. But it becomes very cool because this becomes kind of a report builder. Right now I have low income, but let's just put in, hey, we need to know if they're in-state or out-of-state. So now we have in-state, out-of-state, low income, student ID. You can build this sort of detail list, adding any of the variables that you're accustomed to right in there, and then, you know, print it out or download it or whatever. And so it becomes a pretty cool dynamic way to get record level data that that you can design without having to go directly into your SIS. So I think, is that all we're going to cover at Wintry? I think that was everything. You're muted, by the way.
Yes, of course. If you have extra time, if you want to say anything more about cohorts and all the things that people
Just
might want to do
that
with
when
that.
you, yeah, I'll just go into outcomes. The ability to, let's say I uploaded some math tutoring cohorts. I'm going to click on my cohorts and I can see success rates by were they in the tutoring center or not, which is kind of cool. The thing to know about cohorts, let me go manage cohorts. These are set of IDs that I uploaded from my computer or that I, uploaded from one of the drill downs. One of the cool things about the cohorts is you can share that with other people. And I know some colleges do this because one office will create their list of students but they need other departments to do some analysis on those students. Career services might want to share it with, maybe an academic office. So you can just put in the person's name and now Wintry can see my math tutoring cohort. And you can share it with everybody as well, just like, but sometimes that's not the greatest because people don't want to see your cohorts necessarily. Anyway, so it becomes, we're trying to get get people to collaborate, and this becomes a nice way to allow you to share work without having to email an Excel list of student IDs so they can go upload it themselves or do the analysis themselves. How's that, Wintry?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right.
I will say one other thing about the Student Spotlight. We've been working on updating it, enhancing it this week, and all of our current customers have Student Spotlight report at least in development, but not everyone has it in production yet. So as we're meeting in the next coming weeks, we can check in about the fields that are displayed there to see is this what you want? Is this what's helpful? What's useful to have on these records? And make sure that you're able to use it the way you want to. And we can talk about access because this is, something more sensitive. So very much permission based. So that's something we'll be checking in with if you don't already have it up and running in production, to see if we need to make any adjustments to get it there for you.
Yeah, we had a college that they have 2 student spotlights. They have one without grades, and certain other data was hidden, which they thought could be more broadly permitted. And then they had another one that was more restricted. So we can totally have it customized for your own access levels that you feel comfortable with, and then know that the student spotlight is look at me. You have your drill down. That's when you can click on the table cell and get the list of student IDs. And then you have student spotlight, that's a separate category. So you do have the ability to have some people can see this and some people can see that. Totally, you have total control over how that's managed. All right, I think that's what I wanted to make sure everyone today saw. Those are pretty cool capabilities, and so definitely reach out to us if you have, want to do more for your college, or you can ask us today as well. We're happy to answer.
All right. Thank you very much, Eric. So we are going to move on now to our introduction connector activity that Tim is going to lead for us. So I'll hand it over to you.
All right. Hey everyone, my name is Tim Todd and I work at Mendocino College. I've been working here about 27 years now. And my position here is Senior Programmer Analyst. So that's a little bit about me. The way we're going to be introducing ourselves, as some of you already have seen in the chat, I posted in how we could be introducing ourselves. So we're just looking for your name, where you work at, what your position is, and then for extra credit, you don't have to do it, but it would be fun if you did, is what ChatGPT thinks your superpower is. This could be ChatGPT, it could be Copilot. I think David used Copilot, or ideally it would be an LLM that has memory about you based on your interactions and stuff like that. I included 10 superpowers. I gave there's in the chat. There's a sample. It's in 10 sentences. Please return my top AI superpowers with 1 superpower per sentence based on what you know about me. So you just copy that, paste it in, and see what it gets. I gave 10, so you could choose the one that you want. If you don't have one, if you didn't have access to ChatGPT, whatever, you don't have to give a superpower. It'd be fun if you did. And then also for Gemini, which we all have at community colleges, we should all have free access to that. What normally costs $20 a month, the colleges have come to an agreement where that should be available for no cost, and just maybe talk to your IT about that. But you can paste that in for Gemini. Please generate a fitting image of a superhero that has the following superpowers, and you can see the one that it generated for me. So ChatGPT for me said that I rely on the superpower of adaptive thinking, switching between technical, artistic, and strategic modes depending on the project's needs. So that was one of the 10 superpowers that it came up with, and then I threw that into Gemini, and this was the image. So the fun thing that we're going to try and do after this, that I'm going to try and do, is I'll take the superpowers and maybe the images, and try and turn that into some type of song with AI Suno, or a video perhaps with Sora. But anyway, that is what we're doing. That's me. And first up, let's Eric, if you could introduce yourself.
All right, I did it. According to ChatGPT, I excel at translating messy, disparate data sources into reliable, user-friendly reporting systems. And that looks just like me. How do they do that?
You're in touch with your feminine side.
Yeah, and I love that all the people around are looking up at her like, oh, this is great. I've never seen Excel look so good. So good for them.
Yeah. Thank you. Next up is Wintry.
Hello, I think most of you know me as the customer support person with Precision Campus. I will put in the chat what I selected of the superpowers that ChatGPT suggested for me. I think this is based on my repeated trying to fix silly little things, and also resonated in my personal life because sometimes I get a little stuck and I don't know when to let go and move on. So sometimes being tenacious and resilient is maybe not the best choice. I did cheat a little with my image and I said that I wanted a girl with curly brown hair. So I feel like my superpower is a little bit closer to my real identity in the image, at least.
Who is at your foot there?
I
Your
don't know.
enemies.
Apparently, yeah, I'm crushing people.
um, okay, thank you, Wintry. Next up is David. Oh, and before David, I just posted into chat if anybody missed that, so you could see what the prompts are. All right, so next up is David.
Hello, all. My name is David Ulate. I work at the Foothill-De Anza Community College District, where I am the Executive Director for Institutional Research and Planning. Been here close to 11 years. So I guess I did a couple of iterations with the superpower. When I just asked Copilot, what's my superpower? And it gave me a whole description. My tagline apparently is seeing the truth hidden in the numbers. Like, okay. Then I tried with Copilot. I said, give me my top 10. And the one that I really liked was data telepathy. You instantly understand complex data sets as if they were speaking directly to you. Like, I don't know if that's actually true, but I'll take it. It's still, oh, there we go. Now it's got, let me see, can I copy? Oh, I like that.
Nice.
That's good.
That's Copilot. Again, it's got me with the beard, so that's pretty good. I don't know how they knew I had a beard, but they apparently do. I like the fact that the hair is black. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you, David.
Sure.
Next up is Bill.
So my name is Bill Fowler. I work at Santa Clara University, and I am new to the data analytics department. I spent most of my career looking at student records type data and not so much doing things that Precision Campus can do. If I were to look at Gemini, I think my superpower would be invisibility, because I like to keep a very low profile, and it would be nice if no one could see me and they would stop bugging me.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Next up is Allison.
Trying to unmute.
Yeah.
My name's Allison McGann. I'm a research analyst at West Valley College. It said that my superpower is turning messy institutional data into clear, actionable insights. And it gave me a pretty snazzy visual, so I'll put that in the chat.
Very cool. It sounds like we have a related group of people here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
It looks a little similar to Eric's, but
Yeah.
a little different, but yeah, very cool. Well, thank you, Allison.
Thanks.
And next up is Hazel.
Okay, hi everyone. Let me post this. I put it on the chat. Okay. I'm Hazel Diausen. I'm at Gavilan College. I'm the Director of Institutional Research and Planning, and I've been here for like a year, a little bit over a year. And my superpower is the ability to transform complex and scattered information into clear strategic foresight that guides the entire institution. And
Very
the image they gave me is it's pretty funny, but I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't know if I can post it.
If you
It's
copy and paste, that seems to work best if you can copy the image.
copy it. Okay.
Yeah.
Paste it.
Yeah.
It was like it's so yeah. It's a large file though, but it's yeah, it's this and it gave me blue eyes and so I'm like, okay. A strategic forecaster. So it's like a weather forecaster. Anyway, okay.
Nice, nice. And there's a the symbol, a brain up there with directions. Yeah, quite a bit. And did you do the image with ChatGPT or Gemini?
That was with Gemini, but then I like the concept where we have like a panel that's like up in the air. One day we'll have that. That's invisible.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
like a Minority Report style or something like that.
Yeah, that's the future.
Very, very cool. Yeah, and are you on Gemini Pro with your Gemini? I wasn't sure. Okay, so you aren't. Yeah, because the reason I mentioned that is because with Gemini Pro, it has a new Nano Banana model, which is significantly improved. Significantly improved. Like I made a comic in an hour, 22-page comic. Just gave it a concept and all that. But yeah, definitely check that out. We all have access to Gemini Pro. Again, so check that out with IT or something like that. Okay. Thank you, Hazel. Next up is Michael.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for providing a fun activity for my Friday. I posted in the chat. I'm Michael Kreisel. I'm from Lake Tahoe Community College. I'm the research analyst. My superpower was MindLink. You can connect to any knowledge source and absorb information instantly. I think AI does a really good job of telling you what you want to hear. I don't know if I would give myself that much power, but yeah, I did that with Copilot.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, so we have telepathy, we have a mind link with you, and we have ability to process all kinds of data and forecast for colleges, and very cool. Let's see what else we have. Thank you again, Michael. And next up is Nicholas.
Hey guys, I'm Nick. I'm a senior research analyst at Gavilan with Hazel. And then I'm using ChatGPT. And the superpower it gave me was you command query manipulation, bending SQL, Python, and DAX to your will. And unfortunately, my ChatGPT has still not generated an image, so maybe I need to be in Gemini Pro.
It is a lot faster as well. Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, great to meet all you guys.
Yeah, you too, Nicholas. Thank you. And yeah, and just whenever that comes through, it does take a bit longer. The other thing is that if you have 5.2, I think they have an upgraded text to image as well that dropped yesterday, the 5.2. And it's supposed to be also a little bit better. So if you're in 5.2, you might get the text to image thing differently. But yeah, and then Gemini it generates really fast. It generates text really, really well. It textbooks, illustrations, all kinds of things. Definitely worth checking out. And yeah, thank you, Nick. Next up is Hannah.
We can't hear you, Hannah. At least I can't.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Oh, now we can.
There we
You're
go.
good.
Okay,
You're good.
sorry. It always does that because I have like 5 mics. It doesn't know which one to pick up. So I'm Hannah Lawler. I'm the Dean of Institutional Research at Santa Monica College. I think I picked the number 1 and 2 because it listed like 10. And then my superhero names are Data Weaver and Equity Catalyst. So I translate complex quantitative and qualitative data into clear human-centered stories that practitioners can immediately understand and use. And then I center equity without diluting rigor. Make justice-oriented conversations, incredible evidence that builds trust rather than defensiveness. And I guess that's my image. I will say, I think mine looks cartoony. I did it in ChatGPT. Mine looks cartoony because we do have data coaching program called Equity Avengers, and we do that like kind of actually looks like our kind of cartoony version of our logos. So I think I probably might have used it in the past to do our logo. So although that doesn't look like me, so I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if you would, yeah, and you guys can always upload an image or something like that. Yeah,
I don't want to upload my photo in ChatGPT. I don't want it to know what it looked like, but it probably already
yeah,
knows.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. One thing I did that was fun was I asked, and this is another thing you could do later, is ask ChatGPT to come up with a superhero monologue for you based on what it knows about you. And then you could, take that, use text to audio. I used something called Hedra, and then so where I had an image of myself and the audio of my superhero monologue, I joined them together and had the image, I had it be a superhero image of me. And so there's a superhero image of me doing this superhero monologue, which was a lot of fun. But that's something for later for fun. And it looks like next up is Daniel.
Hi, everyone. I don't use AI very much, but what I do, I use, Copilot?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and you could always if you could always say what you think your superpower is. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh, you got all of them there in an image.
yeah, so I asked for one, gave me a list of like 10, I think was the first one. So what's my superpower? In short, I'll put it. Transforming complexity into clarity and strategy through data-driven leadership. So I say other things but I'm glad to be a fly on the wall in this meeting. We're still we're considering adding Precision Campus to our repertoire, and I like hearing and seeing what everybody's doing with it. So nice to meet you all. Well, I know many of you, but for those that don't know, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. And I think that is everyone. Did anybody not get a chance to introduce themselves? Okay. So I'll be trying to compile all of that into some type of song. If you have preferred genre styles or something like that, maybe throw it into the chat. And I'll try and consider that. Maybe I'll make more than one. But one of the things that I've done before in the past with Precision Campus is to take notes from the meeting, and then take those notes and turn them into a song that goes over that, and it's in a fun way. But anyway, that was our connector activity.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tim, for leading us, doing something fun with the sometimes scary AI. Now we will move over to our feature presentation and turn it over to David.
Okay, great. Just checking on time, 15 minutes still okay?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, so let me share my screen. So I've been asked to demo a dashboard that we recently developed in Precision Campus. It is around for my California Community College colleagues in here with us today. It's around our student-centered funding formula. So I know, is Bill the only one at the 4-year in here? I think so. So for Bill, for you just to know that student-centered funding formula, that's the formula that the state uses to fund California community, our general fund for California community colleges. But the issue there is that they give us funds, but they send it to its district level. There are 2 campuses in the district. And so the state gives us money. They say, here's your money, go forth and do what you want. But we were asked locally, we want to disaggregate it and look at it by all the different categories historically, and eventually use it for planning. So what we've done here is you'll see in these 4 tiles, we've split up. There are 3 categories actually for the funding formula: general FTES, full-time equivalent student, supplemental, and then there's another one around student success. We haven't done the student success part because that one's very complicated. But for these 2, you'll see we have one tile for just the actual metric itself, and then we have another tile for revenue, so we can see how those metrics translate into actual revenue. So here's the FTES metrics dashboard. And you can see when it first loads, it's got a visualization, and then here's the table. I'm going to take off the visualization because at least for this dashboard, right now the table is what provides us the most pertinent data. So you can see here are the 5 categories for FTES, and they're broken down. We're showing the most recent 4 years. We can go farther back. We can show more years. And then there's the FTES associated with each year and each category. So that's the landing page. We have some information. Notice here it specifies this is for academic year. And that's important because there's a difference between academic year and funding year in the data. So other tables will show that we'll say that this is based off the funding year. All values here are shown. They represent single year outcomes. Again, important because in other dashboards, they represent 3-year averages. So we try to put some language on here to make sure that the end user knows exactly what they're looking at. And of course, then for current academic year, they are to-date values. Okay, so let me show. So this is the default, of course, is just to show for the district. I can break it down by college. So you can see now it's showing for the 2 colleges. And if I want to do this by term, there it is, there's term. So now I can see college, each FTES category, and then by term. I can move these headings around. So if I want to say, all right, I want to look primarily at term, for each term, how do those FTES categories, what are the trends by term? But I think, if I want to do it by term and then put by college and then look at those. So I can rearrange things and display them in lots of different ways. And that comes in very, very handy because it all depends on what's the question being asked, what the focus is. If you want to look at a term specific, you want to look at college specific, or if you want to look at the credit type itself. So again, lots of manipulation can be done. Very, very handy. Let's see if I wanted to. So this is by college. What's nice as well is that we can drill down we can get granular. So if let's say I'm the dean, I'm the dean at the Anza, and I want to look at the trends for specific divisions. Let's say I'm the vice president of instruction, and I want to look at certain divisions. So let's say I'm going to look at bio, business, and language arts. take away Anza, take away Foothill. I can refresh. It's a lot of data, a lot of historical data. So first time it loads always takes a few seconds, or yeah, it just takes a little bit. And then, so now we have it by the unit. So here's language arts, there's biohealth, business, and there's their data. And again, if we want to look, if I'm I'm the vice president, I said, well, I want to look at specifically credit FTS and look at each of the divisions and the trends. If I only want to look at, all right, I just want to see fall, and I can do that as well. And as I'm guessing many of us know, with any of these reports, I can save a copy. Yeah, I can save the report. So that report is there, and I can come back and I can access it at any time. I can download the data, I can email it. So a lot of what I have done with the Precision Campus general environment in general is I've saved different types of reports, and I've created an email blast, scheduled an email blast out to a certain level of folks once a week, once every couple of weeks, or multiple times a week, however. So they automatically get this as an email. So yeah, so you can arrange this. You can drill down. Obviously, non-credit, not very much. So you can look at this thing lots of different ways. You can drill down. One of the things that we had to do in order to disaggregate the data this way, especially by college, is because the data that we get from the state is just district level. We here locally, we had to identify what is the home college for the purpose of this funding formula reporting. So we have a flag in our data table that says, David Ulate, SCFF home college equals Foothill. So then all of the relevant FTS, relevant funding formula data for David Ulate is attributed to Foothill College. And so that makes it a lot easier. That way, Precision Campus doesn't have to do anything on their end to try and manipulate and clean and group. It's all on us. We do that. And Eric and Wintry, they just load the data and create the dashboards. So that's the general looking at metrics. Any questions on here?
I was wondering, what was it? Are you guys leveraging that pretty cool with MIS to like verify that like what's being reported is like matching like what you have here? It seems like that'd be really helpful.
Yeah, we do match. The data that's used here is the same data that we use to validate the MIS data for the funding formula. So this is a new tool for us. So we haven't made all the connections to our processes yet, but we are using common data sets. So, A equals B, B equals C, so A equals C. That's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah. Okay, so that's the metric side. Then we get into revenue. So we'll go to the funding formula revenue, because each of those outcomes has an associated funding rate with it. And so what we wanted to provide to the end user is to see that, all right, how much revenue are you generating? And so there's another interface where I enter the funding rates. So I can say for credit FTES, our funding rate per FTES is X dollars. For special admits, it's Y dollars. So I enter that and it automatically calculates everything. Let me do a reset. And you'll notice here it says it's based on the funding year, not necessarily the academic year. And I'm resetting, but you could drill down to see funding by division over time. So you could also get very granular. But here are our funding rates. I'm going to zoom out for a moment just so you can see just the full 4 years. And the reason we need to have at least 3 years is this first category, credit FTS, you can see it's noted down here. It's based off of, it's a 3-year average. So it's the funding year and its 2 preceding years have to be displayed. So this 5320 here, it's based off of this FTS and the 2 previous years. So we have to have all of that displayed. And so, yeah, you can see here's the revenue. And so the first dashboard showed the metric. Here it had the metrics as well. And now you see the funding rate and the revenue. And you can see the funding rate does change over time. And again, but that's on me to keep updated. And as soon as I make those changes, it updates it here. And all of the dashboard interface that you saw previously, where I can do by term, by division, move column headers around, all that is applicable here as well. And I can save these reports and send them off to whomever. Or a dean can say, all right, let me look at a dean of a division. Let me look at each of my departments and create this for each department and send that out to their department heads. And they can have a division meeting and say, all right, what can we do to increase our FTES, to increase our special admin, all those things. So it gives them the full revenue picture. Any questions on that?
Something that would be interesting as a next step to that would be if you could, like, if we hit this mark, what would, like a forecasting revenue? And I was thinking specifically in light of like say autograd or something like that, where like these people are close to being graduated, and if we were able to get those, this is the revenue that would bring in, and then you could maybe use that as leverage to make decisions or something.
Yeah, so this environment here is our phase 1 of 3 around the funding formula. And our phase 2 is getting to that. It's actually a planning dashboard. So they can use this dashboard to see what are our current or historical outcomes and revenues. And in the planning dashboard, our CFO has set some financial revenue targets, and each college can then go in there and say, all right, here's what we can do next year. Here's what we can do for credit FTS. Here's what we can do for special admit next year for FTS. And hopefully part of that conversation, that decision making will involve like, all right, can we do any auto diploma generator? Can we do any of those kinds of things? So yeah, so we are definitely building in that direction.
Cool.
One last thing I just wanted to show. Let me go to supplemental. What's kind of nice about then this environment as well with supplemental is supplemental, because it is a lagging measure. This year's funding is based off of last year's metric, last year's outcomes. Well, in this dashboard, because it's using live data, we can actually, for supplemental, have a good sense of what our funding is going to be because we have this year's worth of data, right? So we can, for supplemental, we can kind of get ahead of the game in terms of what revenue we are anticipating. And that's why here it's very specific. It's on the funding year. Headcount represent headcount values of the previous academic year. So 25-26 funding, this 874 is based off of 24-25 outcomes. And if we looked at the supplemental dashboard, the metrics dashboard, we would see 874 under the 2024-25 heading. So that's one cool thing I think about with the Precision Campus environment. Since we're using live data, we have up-to-date values, then for these metrics and outcomes, we can kind of get an advanced look at what our revenues are going to be. And I've done the data validation. This compared to what we see for in the state report, it's pretty close. You know, there's always a margin of error, but it's pretty close. And where there are some differences, we understand why those differences exist. And what's also really nice is even though we see some differences, the trends are always the same. If the state report says we're increasing, this says we're increasing, all in the same way. So for planning purposes as well, that's a big plus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was wondering, like, sometimes one of the reasons that things get off is that you have a student that was at more than one campus and the other campus is primary. So you think they're for you, but they're getting counted for somebody else. And I wonder if probably not, but if there is a way to account for that in the overall system to identify what students might not be counted because the data is maybe there, but that might be a data private governance thing.
Yeah, we do need to do some refining around that, identifying that what's the home college, because right now it's by FTS. It's wherever they took the majority of their FTS over the last, I think it's 3 years. But they might have taken a lot of FTS that's not relevant to an outcome, and so they're identified with the wrong college. Like, yeah, there's some things that we need to iron out, but that's getting really into the weeds of it.
Yes.
At first, we didn't want perfection to get in the way of having something. So this is, I think, a really good start for us. But yeah, we'll refine it. And what's good about it is we can refine it on our end. We update our code on our end. Precision Campus doesn't have to do anything. It will automatically update here if we change anything in our data table.
I don't know. Another question I had was so how would another college take advantage, or what would be the work that would be required for another college to do what you guys are doing?
So we're a banner school, so a lot of the stuff is just comes straight out of Banner. It's mostly just we did create, and I have a programmer just for myself, just for IR, which has just been wonderful. And so we did create some fields or some tables. More than anything, it's just to make it a lot easier for Precision Campus to capture. It keeps everything really a lot cleaner. So if we do see any wonkiness in the data, it's easiest, like, all right, we just look at this table or these 2 or 3 tables. So it's a lot easier. So there are some custom fields that need to happen, but it all kind of depends on how your data are organized. For Pell, we already had a field created for Pell. We already had a field created to identify promise. So it's just a matter of putting that in the table that we need to share with Precision Campus.
Mm-hmm. And if you're, sorry.
I was just going to say, and I mean, Eric or Wintry, with the data table to actually create this, how was it difficult, or I didn't think was it too bad?
It wasn't too bad. I actually, the hardest thing for us to do, which was actually quite challenging, is the rolling average 3-year credit calculation. I had that all displayed in the same table is pretty challenging, but so I guess we had our work to do, you had your work to do, but
yeah,
be able to do it together. Yeah.
And you also represent one of the trickier situations as being a multi-district. If it's a single district, then that is it's a more simple case.
True. Very true. Hannah?
So
It's popping in and out, your audio.
oh, sorry.
There we go.
Now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Any of the colleges or the districts are interested, Santa Monica College is looking to advocate to the state to revise the student center funding formula where we don't take the 3-year average, but take the most recent year.
Oh,
'cause
really?
yeah, so we've put together an advocacy group and we've hired a lobbyist. In addition to putting together a block grant, 1-year block grant, but the other element, so we're looking at how many districts would benefit if we looked at the most recent year versus always a 3-year average, because a lot of our districts are experiencing growth coming out of the COVID years, and I think the 3-year average is disadvantaging us. So I know your district is now, what do they call it? A basic aid college.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. So I don't know, where do you put your non-credit or your non-resident like revenue? Is that anywhere here? Like,
No.
no,
Yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
they just have to like know, like, oh, this isn't all of the revenue.
Correct. Yeah, this is just
Yeah.
specifically SCFF
Right. Okay.
relevant revenue. Yeah, non-resident. We have other internal reporting to capture
Okay.
and track non-resident.
But this is great. I mean, I'm definitely going to try to steal. I just texted my CBO, said, would this be useful? He said, absolutely.
Yeah. Right on.
And luckily we're a single college district, so it'll make it much easier. I don't know how
Yeah.
to separate the colleges. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy if any of your institutions would like me to do a demo for this for you, happy to do so. No problem. I would suggest just reach out to Eric and Wintry, and they'll know, because I'm retiring in a week. So Eric and Wintry will know how to get a hold of me. I'll still be around, but I won't be checking my work email.
Yeah, congrats on retiring.
Yeah.
And
Thank you
I'll
so
miss
much.
I'll miss having you around.
Yeah.
It's been cool interacting with you and having you present at CISPA and stuff like that.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll be.
Right.
Maybe there might be some consulting stuff with the Precision Campus, perhaps. You might want to enjoy your retirement. That's it.
Maybe. maybe.
Thank you so much, David, and we will breeze right through our last item of business. I'm curious as we think about the next user group. I'll throw this in the chat. If you would just like to react, let me see if I can give a negative reaction there to my little chat prompt. If you are planning to attend RP conference, you or anyone from your team, just so we can get a sense of how many people would be there, and if kind of kick around the idea of maybe doing an in-person option for the user group, if that looked like a good venue to do that. And we'll always be in touch asking for volunteers to help present at the user groups in the future. So if you're interested and would like to volunteer, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll be knocking on doors to ask. And I am going to use a random number generator to identify our gift card winner. And I am drawing the number 6, which puts this going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to go to Hannah. So Hannah, we will have a DoorDash gift card for you that will come via email. And if you have any questions about that, let me know offline. But we appreciate everybody coming and participating, especially to our presenters and facilitators today. Thank you guys so much for your time and for everyone enjoying. And it's going to be kind of scarce with the holidays, so if we don't see you before then, happy holidays, and thank you again for joining.
And you could, and if I am successful, you may get a song via the email.
Yes, we'll look forward to that. Should be entertaining.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
everyone.
all.
All right. Bye-bye.